As passengers, we buy an air ticket in India. A good chunk of what we pay goes towards ensuring that when we get to an airport, we are not inconvenienced. That our elderly parents don't have to walk for 20 minutes. That pregnant women get the buggy without having to wait for it for 20 minutes. That those with mobility challenges are not handicapped with accessibility issues. So when an elderly couple brought an Air India ticket from New York to Mumbai, they paid every fee possible to ensure that they reach home safely. A user development fee, an airport development fee, a passenger service fee, a passenger handling fee as well. And yet, when they landed, something as basic as a wheelchair was not made available to them. They had pre-booked it. Via their ticket cost, they had even paid for it. And yet, there was just one wheelchair for this elderly couple, both in their 80s. Now, this is a common enough story at airports across India, but this one had a tragic ending. The gentleman insisted that his wife use the one wheelchair that was available and decided to walk alongside her. After a kilometer and a half, he collapsed at the Mumbai airport, had a heart attack and died. 50,000 rupees for a ticket, ladies and gentlemen, and the journey ends in death because the airline and the airport don't have a wheelchair for you. What is the point of having world-class airports with art galleries and luxury lounges and meditation zones if you don't have something as basic as wheelchairs? Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a country where 20% of our population is mobility challenged. And yet, you cannot calculate how many wheelchairs your airport or your aircraft or your airline will need. In its response, Air India has offered the customary lip service, calling it an unfortunate incident. They claim that the elderly couple was asked to wait because of a high demand for wheelchairs. But the 80-year-old decided to walk alongside his wife, who was in a wheelchair. Essentially, they are saying the senior citizen was responsible for what happened. We had told him to wait. Ladies and gentlemen, after a certain age, when you're traveling with your family, you want to stick with your family. Any professional who has worked in the airline industry will tell you that most elderly couple want to stick together for obvious reasons. And then you're blaming the gentleman for making the decision of walking alongside with his wife. He had to walk because you didn't have a wheelchair for him. Reports say that the flight had requests for 32 wheelchairs. So in that flight from New York to Mumbai, there was a request from 32 passengers for wheelchairs. But when the flight landed, there were only 15 available. One reason also being given, according to reports, is that the flight was almost 10 hours late. Well, the flight was 10 hours late because of you. And if the flight is 10 hours late, it doesn't mean that the 34 people who need wheelchairs will not get it. Look at this. The airline knows beforehand that 34 wheelchairs are needed, but they send only 15. What are those with mobility challenges to do? Wait for an hour or 2 hours for the wheelchair to come. Is this why we pay passenger service fee? The DGCA, the aviation regulatory body, as always is waking up late. They've issued a show cause notice to Air India now for violating rules and has also asked the airline to submit a report in a week's time. According to DGCA rules that already exist, airlines are mandated to address the specific needs of individuals, ensuring their seamless travel from the departure terminal to the aircraft and vice versa upon arrival. Today, the DGCA has also issued an advisory to all airlines to ensure that adequate number of wheelchairs are available to passengers who require assistance. Did it really have to take a death for you to issue this advisory? Fact is, despite clear rules in place and similar advisories in the past, airports are handicapped when it comes to wheelchairs. Take a look at what had happened a few days ago. Para-athlete Suvarna Raj was denied a wheelchair at the Chennai airport. He's also alleging that he was ill-treated for requesting a personal wheelchair. In October last year, again at the Mumbai airport, a disabled business class flyer was denied a wheelchair and was forced to walk down the ramp without help. Again, Chennai airport. Early last year, actor and politician Khushbu Sundar, she had suffered a knee injury, was made to wait for half an hour before a wheelchair arrived, and that too had to be borrowed from another airline. The data is clear. We are getting this data from the 2011 census. It says that 20%, in fact more than 20% Indians in India need a wheelchair. This includes those who are disabled and those who are beyond a certain age. If the statistics are so clear, why are our airports perpetually short of wheelchairs? Is it money, lack of money? Or is it because they simply don't care?